Everyone to video number 13. I'm going to wait to see. Yes, we are doing video number 13 of Elsie Lincoln Benedict's How to Get Anything You Want. These are live readings that I do every day of Elsie Lincoln Benedict or other things. And so if you enjoy this, make sure you look at the playlist on YouTube. It has all of the previous videos here. If you want to go ahead and read this book with me, it is amazing. How to Get Anything You Want by Elsie Lincoln Benedict. It is one of the best personal development books I have ever read. And she was a genius. This was written back in 1923, I believe. And so we are on day 4 of 365. We are just doing daily content here. It's to keep myself accountable, but I appreciate you being here. So we're going to continue with this reading. Yesterday we left off with her saying, really talking about, we left off on this page. I do remember. She said, very few people realize that our feelings are what bring our results upon us. So our results in our life are a direct reflection of how we are feeling, our emotional state, our predominant moods, as she said. So she says the main direction of our acts is in accordance with our real feelings. And the deeper the feeling, the more intensive, extensive, and effective the acts. This is true of all feelings, good or bad. In other words, you don't have a feeling in your bones because a thing has been brought to you by influences outside of yourself. But it comes to you because you had the feeling first and then went more than halfway to meet it. If you will remember this great principle and realize that it works both ways, you can bring good unto yourself, but entertaining good feelings in your bones just as easily as surely as you have been bringing the bad. So it works both ways. As we talk about the mind, right? All repetition is key. So we always learning this every day. So if this is the first time you are seeing this, we're talking about the mind, the power of the mind, not the brain, right? I'm not a neuroscientist. I'm a psychologist, right? I have a master's degree in psychology. I'm a psychotherapist. I work with the psyche, psychology, mindset. And so we're talking about the mind, but there is no image for the mind. There is an image for the brain. We can scan that on x-rays. We can see it. We can hold it from a cadaver, a brain in our hands, right? We know there's a brain, a noodle, a physical piece of anatomy between our ears and our skull. But where is the mind? The mind is energy. The mind is everywhere in every cell of our body. So this is the image we use for the mind. And if you didn't know, this was downloaded, really channeled, illuminated from Dr. Thurman Fleet. And let me show you a little video. YOLO, let's do it together. Let me go ahead and show you this video. If you have never seen this, let me go to my downloads. Bear with me. Here we go. And so I believe it was Dr. Thurman Fleet intro, and we're going to find it. Don't you worry. If we can't no, I will find it, but it's just a matter of where I put it. So it was Dr. Thurman Fleet's intro. Let's see if I could pull up my slides here. So if you've never seen this intro, it is quite phenomenal. And I really, really, oh, look at me on Facebook here. Wait, I need to refresh. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. Let me see if it's in here. Bear with me. This is what you do when you're live. And I have dedicated, my daily content to going live and not, editing things. And so this is just what it's going to be. Yes, I think I found it. What a treat. What a treat this is going to be. Live, just a little live training here. Just a little live ditty. Okay, so many of you might be familiar with Dr. Thurman Fleet's mind model that I always show. Bob Proctor made it very, very popular, and he was my mentor. And so this represents the mind. And there's 2 parts of the mind, the conscious thinking part and the subconscious feeling or emotional part. We have our body with which we act from. If you can't see that, a little closer. We think, we feel, we act, and we get results. And then we have our 5 physical senses up here. Touch, taste, smell, hear, see. And these are hooked up to our conscious thinking mind. We're always taking in information from this apparatus, right? It's how we receive information. And this is our conscious thinking mind. This is only 5%. 5% we're aware of and conscious of. 95% is our subconscious, below conscious level. That's our emotional feeling mind. This really is what runs and dictates our body. This is where our feelings, our emotion, or our frequency is. And then it dictates what we do, our behaviors, how we act. Our feelings drive our actions. And then depending on how we act, we get results. So this is Dr. Thurman Fleet's mind model, because again, there is no model, there is no image of the brain that we can work with. So that's why it's so hard for people until you learn something like this. Like, what image are you working with? How do you explain psychology and the psyche and mental health to people, right? Like when I worked with parents of children who in my practice have mental health issues, right? Depression, anxiety. And I was trying to explain to the parents what was going on, right? How we conceptualize what's happening in their mind. And I show them that mind model, and it was like, bing, wow, okay, now I have something I can work with. They could understand it better because we think in images. We have images for every thought we have. And so if I say, think about your bedroom, think about your bed, think about your toothbrush, you will see images flash in your mind. Think about your sister, think about your brother, think about your mom, think about your dad. You see images, flashes in your mind. And so when I say, think about the mind, a lot of times we see a picture of the brain. We see an image of the brain, but the brain is not the mind. The brain is not the mind. The brain is a piece of anatomy, a 3D physical piece of matter that's in this skull, my brain, my noodle. But my mind is everywhere. So my brain is in my body, but my body is in my mind, because mind is everywhere. Mind is in my body. Mind is outside. Mind is there. Like, you can read my mind. Really what you're saying, you can read my energy. When you can read other people's minds, right? When you're around them and you can feel the energy, their vibration, right? Bad vibes, good vibes. What you're really saying is, I can read their mind. I can feel their mind. Like, we are mind. You can feel what I'm thinking. If we're like, you know, you know what I mean? Like, you're having the same experience as somebody and you both see the same thing, but you don't say a word, and you're like, you can read each other's mind, but no words were spoken. We're picking up from our higher faculties, right? We're picking up intuitively from our higher faculties, which are on this side, by the way. So this is a whole nother topic. So we have higher faculties in our conscious thinking mind: perception, the will, reason, imagination, memory, intuition. So we have, of course, our 5 physical senses, our lower animal senses. All animals have 5 physical senses. But human beings, what makes us the apex creature, we have higher faculties, these 6 superpowers. And if you have not I have a free training. It's a six-day training on the 6 superpowers. So just go to my website, carlaelizondo.com. It's right on the front page. You just put in your name and your email, and you get access to that free 6-day inner superpowers little mini workshop, little mini course. So take advantage of that. It's on my website, myname.com, carlaelizondo.com. So let's watch this little video together on Dr. Thurman Fleet and how this came to be. I've never done this on a YouTube video, just sharing. Let's watch this together.
In all of history, man has sought after the secrets of the mind, an understanding of the psyche. The word psychology is a Greek term meaning the study of the soul or spirit. The ancient philosophers knew that the key to man's power lies in the mind, but the answers remained elusive for years.
Oops.
The physical body.
Hold on.
Philosophers.
You know what? This is live TV. I don't know if I shared sound, and I don't want to go through the whole video because no one's going to be here to... I did share sound. Sorry to interrupt y'all. I'll start it from the beginning. But this is life. What are you going to do? Take 2.
In all of history, man has sought after the secrets of the mind, an understanding of the psyche. The word psychology is a Greek term meaning the study of the soul or spirit. The ancient philosophers knew that the key to man's power lies in the mind, but the answers remained elusive for years, as it was beyond the physical body. Philosophers, scientists, and spiritual teachers have tried to understand the mind and how it works for centuries, there was never a concept or image that they could work with. Until, in the 1930s, a man by the name of Dr. Thurman Fleet was illuminated with an image that would change the way we understand the mind forever. After serving in the First World War as a highly decorated soldier, Dr. Thurman Fleet overcame painful post-war ailments through alternative methods. He then dedicated his life to helping others use the power of their minds to heal both physical and psychological problems. Amidst his exploration of the body's innate healing capabilities, Dr. Thurman Fleet encountered something beyond the realm of conventional understanding, the enigmatic stickman figure. With this simple image, you will learn how thoughts create images in our mind, causing emotions in our body, and ultimately the results we see in our world. You will never again be at the mercy of outside results. I am the master of my fate, the captain of my soul.
Oh my goodness, how good is that? Thank you, Cameron Brothers. They are a talented group of filmmakers, creators who work with the Napoleon Hill Institute with me side by side. I'm so blessed to have creatives like them to make these gorgeous videos. I wrote the script for that, and then they brought it to life. I'm so excited. So that is the history of this stick person. If you did not know that, this stick man was illuminated from Dr. Thurman Fleet, who was a war veteran, and he suffered ailments, pain. He had a grave diagnosis, right? The prognosis of 1 year to live. And he felt like the medical community gave up on him, and he had a family, kids, and he wanted to live for them. So through trying to seek alternative, healing modalities and methods, he found a chiropractor himself who incorporated the mind and the thoughts and the power to heal your body. And he was healed. And so he dedicated his whole life to sharing this and the mind model. It was concept therapy. It's really like today's version of cognitive behavioral therapy, which I'm really, really happy about, obviously, because that's my jam, therapy and all that jam, psychology. So that is the history of that. And I love how Elsie, Lincoln, Benedict, I can just imagine them using this stick person model back in the day, because that's exactly what she's talking about. So she's saying, very few people realize that they can use their mind. When you say, I just feel it in my bones, usually it's something negative. But she's saying, if you'll remember this great principle that you're the one that directs your thoughts, you will realize that it works both ways, whether you're focused on negative or focused on positive. And you can bring good unto yourself by entertaining good feelings in your bones, just as easily and as surely as you have been bringing the bad, okay? So if you think that you're somebody who has like premonitions, oh, I knew that was going to happen, I can always see when bad things are going to happen, I hope it's the same for good. What are we focused on? Very few people realize this. They think only the premonitions. They think the only premonitions that come true are the evil ones. Isn't that true? Very few people realize this. They think the only premonitions, right? The only premonitions that come true are the evil ones. That is because it is always easier to drift, to slide downhill, to settle into pessimism. It becomes a habit. Ooh, Elsie, you are bringing the truth right now. That is because it is always easier to drift, to slide downhill, to settle into pessimism. It takes no effort, energy, attention, or focus to go downhill. You just have to do nothing. It takes no effort to be negative. It's effortless. It takes no effort to be angry and mad and to complain. Sometimes it feels good. It does, however, take energy, attention, effort, and focus to be positive, to be solution focused, to look at the possibilities and what can be. So when I hear people who are cynical, bitter, pessimistic, I know that I mean, I'm sorry, they're lazy. They are mentally flabby, psychologically flabby, and not to judge them because I'm sure they're that for a reason. That's how they've been trained. But I know they don't do work. People who complain, who are pessimistic and are negative, it's equivalent to somebody sitting around eating fast food all day and being morbidly obese, just on the inside. And I want nothing to do with that. I don't want to surround myself with people like that. I pray for them. God bless them. Whew. But we can be embarrassed when we're not healthy, right? If we've let ourselves go. But you can have a six pack and be psychologically obese and just like just a horrible example energetically. And that takes no effort. There's a great quote that I use all the time from Lefford Fate here at the Napoleon Hill Institute. And he said, nobody nobody drifts their way up to the top of a mountain. Nobody just floats to the top of a mountain. The only place you drift and float to is downhill to failure. So if you're looking and you are working, which if you're watching this, I'm sure you are, wanting to grow, wanting to, expand your success and your happiness in all areas of life, it's going to take effort, energy, attention, and focus. And yeah, you're going to get uncomfortable. But think about it. Not having what we want is already very uncomfortable. So just pick your discomfort, pick your pain, pick your discomfort. So it becomes a habit, she says, pessimism. Also, because the average person is ignorant of the most vital laws of his own nature. Few people have remade their lives to suit themselves because few have taken the time or trouble to learn the simple rules by which anyone can do. But all who have learned them and then tested them over and then tested them ever so little know that they explain the main general condition every person's life, that they always work. I love her. She's talking about the universal laws. She said, few people have remade their lives to suit themselves because few have taken the time or trouble to learn the simple rules by which anyone can do so. But all who have learned them and then tested them ever so little know that they explain the main general conditions of every person's life, that they always work. And she put always work in all caps. They always work. You have progressed a long way when you recognize that these deep feelings are the real forces which directly or indirectly create the conditions in your life. But this advance is nothing to that which follows when you take one more step and realize that you and you alone determine what these inner feelings shall be. And she puts them all in caps. You have progressed, so you've come a long way when you recognize that these deep feelings are the real forces which directly or indirectly create the conditions in your life. But this advance is nothing to that which follows when you take one more step and realize that you and you alone determine what these inner feelings will be. You and you alone will be the one that determines what these feelings will be. Today, Saturday here, I ran a workshop on embodying success principles, and it was all about emotional regulation, regulating your nervous system. It went over 3 hours. I was like, I could have gone for 6 hours. It was amazing. I loved it. And we were talking about we choose what we're going to embody. We choose what we're going to get emotionally involved with. We choose. We're not a victim of our thoughts. We are not a victim of our thoughts. We are the ones that have the power. These feelings build your life, but you build the feelings. These feelings build your life, but you build the feelings because the feelings come from thoughts. Think, feel, act, get results. If you don't like your results, how are you acting? How are you feeling? How are you thinking? This builds your life, not this. Everybody in the world can think all they want. They talk all they want. People do that all the time. They read all the books, but nothing ever happens because they are not emotionally involved with it. They're not feeling it. It hasn't gone into their body. They're not embodying it. And so they just talk, 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 and nothing ever happens. All right. These feelings build your life, but you build the feelings because you are in charge of what you think. You can choose what they shall be exactly as you choose a tailor to make your suit of clothes. Then you can encourage and discourage them precisely as you do your tailor when you go to your fittings. So it's like, how do you want to dress? How do you want to look? You choose, metaphorically speaking, with your thoughts. You can choose what they shall be exactly as you choose a tailor to make your suit of clothes. Then you can encourage and discourage them precisely as you can do to your tailor. Like, just a little bit here, a little bit there, just take this off, whatever you want. They could be whatever you want. You can think whatever you want to perfectly fit you. And you don't have to explain yourself to anybody. You need not bother about how the details are going to be worked out and accomplished by your inner self any more than you need to hang over your tailor while he cuts the stitches and trimmings. Oh, this is so good. So think about there's like a little tailor down here, and this tailor is your tailor. It does whatever you say. You take this, you choose what suit you want to wear. This is all metaphorical. Hang with me here. You choose what you want to wear. You pick out the best dress, the best thought, makes you feel so good. And you give it over to your tailor. And you say, okay, I want it to be this, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And the tailor will make it for you. That's why it's so important to think about what you want, your goal, and just hand it over to the inner tailor, and they will make it happen. But we just have to keep telling them what we want. We have got to get emotionally involved with what we want. We talk a lot about burning desire here at the Napoleon Hill Institute, and people always say, I'm just not feeling it. How do I get my burning desire? I see other people with a burning desire, but I don't have one. Oftentimes, when you don't have like a burning, flaming desire and you're deeply feeling great about it's because there's like something blocking, right? You can think, oh, I want to achieve this, but we can't do that. It's like, if you believe down here that it's not possible and you want something, it's not going to fit. It's going to like be rejected because it says that doesn't match our self-image. That's not who we are. Kick it out. It will never settle in. Like attracts like. And if down here in your subconscious feeling mind, you're emotionally involved with limiting negative beliefs and narratives, and then you try to affirm positive ones, right? I mean, you should. But it's repetition. You can't just do it once. You do it once, it's gonna, haha, that, yeah, right. Psh. But you don't have time for that. I want to go to the gym every day. I don't have time for that. I'm too tired. I don't have time for that. I'm too tired because that's what you're feeling all day. I'm tired. I don't have enough time. I can never do what I want. So that's why we have to repeat, 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 carve the new narrative over and over and over. It it's not a one-time thing. It's through that repetition over and over and over and over and over, putting it into embodying it into our subconscious mind. So it says you don't need to bother with exactly how the details, how things are going to happen, but how is this ever going to happen? How is this ever going to happen? How am I going to accomplish this? You're not going to say that to your subconscious mind like you would your tailor. But how are you going to cut it? But it's like the tailor knows what they're doing. It's their job. You just tell the tailor what to do, they're going to do it. So you need not bother about how the details are going to be worked out and accomplished by your inner self any more than you need to hang over your tailor while he cuts and stitches stitches and trims. In fact, such curiosity and fretting will greatly interfere with delay the working out of your desires just as they would with your tailor. Can you imagine you have a professional tailor, the most perfect tailor in the whole world, and you're just like, are you doing it right? Are you doing it right? Wait, let me check it again. Let me check it again. And the tailor like, okay, you're just like slowing down the process here. Like that's just like when we bury something, right, in the ground and we keep digging it up to make sure that the soil is going to actually sprout and grow. It's just going to delay the process. Just trust, just hand it over, continue to hand it over with full faith. Get emotionally involved with it, go all in, full body dive into your goal. And you know what's going to trigger you. Is it going certain places? Is it looking at certain, like, do you have a Pinterest board? Do you have a vision board? Is there certain songs? Is there certain music? Like, affirmations? Like, these are all ways that we can get into emotionally involved with our goal. You know, thinking about your family. What's your why, right? Why are you doing it? So having too much worrying and fretting with how it's going to happen is just going to interfere and it's going to delay your desires. We do not know just how the great subconscious mind produces and finished article we have ordered any more than the layman knows the tricks of the tailor's trade. We only know it does, and this is enough for all practical purposes. One of the easiest ways to test the truth of this, grasp it, and begin to get ready to use it as a tool in your life's workshop is to trace the effect of any definite mood upon yourself. Ooh, let's read into this. So, one of the easiest ways to test the truth of this, grasp it and begin to get ready to use it as a tool in your life, is to trace the effects of any definite mood upon yourself. So, let's take that inventory. Let's trace back, work our way back to our definite moods. Maybe this attitude is one which originally other people suggested to you. You opened the door of your mind. This is a little hatch. You opened it up and you let it fall right in. Other people's thoughts from the outside world, you let it in and you opened up that great hatch and you let it into your heart of hearts. Maybe that attitude that you've had a predominant mood about, this attitude, is one which came from other people, from your parents, from your family, from your friends, from your coworkers. You opened the door of your mind to it and then entertained it with your thoughts, just as you would a friend in your parlor. So you welcomed it in, this idea from someone else. You welcomed it in, you grabbed it a cup of tea, and you're hanging out with it now. Say that at breakfast, some member of your family remarked, "Mary, dear, you don't look at all well this morning. Are you ill? Are you sick?" You weren't ill at all, but in fact, quite the contrary. You weren't sick at all. You felt really good. But what if someone come up to you and said, "Oh my God, you don't look so good. Are you feeling okay? You look sick." But you're like, "The hell? I'm feeling fine. Like, I feel totally fine." So she says, "You weren't sick at all. In fact, you were feeling pretty good. You had a risen feeling. It was great to be alive and you felt so good. But you had done your hair a new way and inadvertently used the talcum, the powder, instead of your usual pink powder." "Oh no," this person replies. "I never felt better in my life. Isn't it a wonderful morning?" On the way to the office, you meet a friend who also notices the effect of the powder that she used instead of blush. And the coworker says, "You look a little pale, Mary. Is it spring fever?" "No, indeed," you answer. "I'm very well, thank you." But the tiny thought at at the breakfast table, has allowed you to take the root, and already you are not quite as enthusiastic as you were before. So this is how easy it is to let other people dictate our moods. So this woman, Mary, she's at breakfast and she simply had used the wrong makeup or this happens all the time. And you women out there, listen to this. There's days when I don't wear a lot of makeup. I remember when I think it was in high school. And the days that I didn't wear makeup, my teachers would say, "Are you sick?" I'm like, "No, I'm not sick. I just don't have any makeup on." Right? But oh, thank God I was smart enough to understand what was going on. But it could have made me question, like, "Oh my God, do I look ill? Do I look sick? Maybe I should put makeup on," right? Like I would let their perception affect me. And this woman, Mary, is living her best life. And people are saying, "Oh my God, girl, are you okay? Is there something wrong with you?" "No, I'm fine." Then the second person, "Oh my gosh, are you okay?" She's like, "Oh shit, maybe." maybe I'm sick, right? So she said no to the coworker, I'm fine. But that little thought, it planted, the seed planted. We're getting fearful now. So it says, when you reach the office, those kind new friends, other friends in the office who never miss a thing, exclaim, "Why, Mary, for pity's sake, what ails you? You look like a ghost." By noon, you take the boss's advice and go home for the rest of the day. And by 4 o'clock, the little dab of white talcum has brought you a sure enough, honest to God headache. So it's like psychosomatic illnesses. Like the thought is in our mind first, like hypochondriasm, like hypochondriacs. You think you have something and you get emotionally involved. You start worrying. The thought comes in your mind. It's like cold and flu season. Why is it that some people always get the cold and flu and some people don't? It could quite literally, of course, there are physical things like not getting enough rest and, you know, surrounding yourself with sick people. But I remember this time last year, I was with people, everyone had COVID. I did not get it. I did not get it. Of course, I stayed as far away, but I was sharing the same quarters. I did not get it. Everyone else got it. Knock on wood. But right? Because in my mind, I don't even entertain those thoughts. I don't listen to that garbage. If we don't let it in and get emotionally involved, it will not take root. Your mind is very, very, very powerful. And I'm not by no means say that everything that happens to you is because you think negative thoughts. There are things that happen and there's a lot of forces at work that we do not know, right? So I don't shame people and be like, you're sick. Your mind wasn't right. No, there's so many factors that we can't see. But however, regardless, even if we do get sick, it doesn't matter. Our mindset can truly help us. So always have a positive mindset no matter what's happening because it does help you get through it. I use the example of, somebody that I knew who had lost a loved one and they were practicing gratitude through their grief. It was such a beautiful testament to this work. And she didn't have to. Nobody would have blamed her either. It's like, who the hell's going to practice gratitude when you're grieving the loss of a loved one, right? But it was a miracle. You should have saw this. It was just so beautiful. Top three experiences as a therapist working with someone. I will always hold that in my heart. It was so beautiful. So that was a long way of saying, do not let seeds drop into your mind from other people. Like, what's another? I have, okay, you see my face, right? I got some features and I'm very animated. Like I used to be even more animated, but I have what they call RBF, resting bee face, I think. Like I'm always just focused. I was always in my mind and I'm always like thinking and my nostrils can flare and, people, they're like, are you mad? I got that all the time. Are you mad? Did somebody make you mad? I'm like, no, I'm not mad. But like the first person, like, are you mad? I'm like, oh, no, no. What makes you think that? I don't know. You just look very serious. I say, oh, well, no, I'm not mad. Then the next person, are you mad? No, I'm not mad. Then the third person, are you mad? Well, I am now. I would let it affect me. Like, no, I'm not mad, but I am mad now. All you fools ask, like, I'm like, do I need to? This is just my face. It's just my face. And I don't let it bother me anymore. It's so funny. It's just so funny. People are funny. We're funny. Okay, I'll end right there. So, where did I leave off? Oh yeah. So by noon, this woman went home. She had a headache just because she used the wrong powder and everyone's telling her she looks sick. Yeah, we'll leave it there. That's the power of your mind. This is just a treat, just an absolute treat. And I actually have to make another video on YouTube. I do not stream it on Facebook though, because it's my Course in Miracles and that's just a whole nother topic. But if you're interested in A Course in Miracles, be sure to check out my YouTube. I have playlists there and I do go live with that. So I hope you're having a wonderful weekend, the first weekend of the year.